Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Solana's finest podcast, Soul Brothers, with my dear friend Ino and myself, Simon, where it's our job to throw you into the Solana rabbit hole and show you around in our exciting ecosystem.
Our mission is to help you stay on top of the latest and greatest in Solana so that you never run out of fun things to talk about. Simon, we have a very special guest today. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited. Had a good weekend. Markets are a bit choppy, I have to say. We're going to get to that. That definitely impacted my mood a little bit on the weekend. It's not easy right now to trade. Let me put it that way. But we're gonna look at that. We're gonna talk about what's up on the charts. We're gonna talk about why the charts are moving, and we're gonna talk, as always, about some exciting news on Solana. But most importantly, we have a guest today that we should start with today. So we're gonna have a small section at the beginning of today's pod where we talk about SNS. Are you ready for this?
Yes, absolutely. Most people know this pod is sponsored by both Jupiter and SNS. But I mean, what's really important is that we work with partners who we feel are pushing things in this space that we actually care about. Because certainly we do get other offers, but they're not as attractive to us because they're not really long-term builders in the space. Whereas this next guest has been building on Solana for a very long time. And she's now the CEO, of course, of SNS. So we're going to bring onto the stage AOM. How are you?
GM, how are you? And Simon. Yeah, lovely to always be here with Soul Brother. It's always very, very special. So thanks for having me.
Yeah. It's good to see you.
Great seeing you too.
So, I mean, where are you in the world now? Are you in Hong Kong or
in Hong Kong? You can see it's super gloomy right now. In the past few weeks, it's been typhoon, black rain, and all this thing. But regardless, we still keep building nonstop, and we're so excited because in 9 days, okay, that will be the end of the LFG campaign. So it's coming to the sprint to an end, and our team is pushing very hard. The community is pushing very hard. The campaign has been absolutely on fire. We're now nearly at 370,000 domain name register, right? And in the past, 370,000 domain name register, right?
I thought it was 350 a couple of days ago.
Yeah, because in this past month, we have seen over 47,000 registration.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been a surge since we launched the LFG campaign, also with the $1 domain. We've seen a lot more new people coming to Solana. I can see it from the Twitter, for example. People from ENS, actually. I start seeing .eth coming to .so. There was a guy who owned SCN.eth just post today hey, do you know anyone who owned SCN.so? So actually that guy, I think his name is Trumi or something. So, and then he posted, he listed this domain, right, on sale on SNS for some $60,000. So let's see if he's gonna make sure he get bought .it and .so on that Ko-fi because a lot of people start
actually-
doing so. Yeah.
I saw some big dollar signs, solid dollar sign transactions recently, right? There's been some bigger domain purchases where people, just spend 5 digits on a domain on SNS Marketplace. And it's not, we're not reinventing the wheel. Like the domain market in Web
No.
2 has been dead for years, right? It's a very interesting
Yes.
industry, actually. Lots of high value transactions. Some of the domains that people use in the internet are fucking expensive. So I mean, even I have like experience in this because we secured ourselves Solana.id back then, and it was such a
Yeah.
lucky. It was such a I'm not gonna lie, like it was so
Totally.
cheap. But these things are expensive. Domains are expensive. Your names in the internet can have a very high value. What has been the last kind of big dollar transaction that you saw internally,
Wow. I think the biggest one like ever was still like this diamond.so. It's not even a little word, right? It's emoji
It's an
actually.
emoji.
So
Diamond
and
Soul.
and the second is you want to
How much
guess?
was that? How much was the diamond?
Oh, diamond is like 60K.
Damn. Yeah,
Dang.
that's so
Yeah.
expensive.
You want to
I
guess
did.
the second? It's also
W
very
W
famous.
dot soul. W dot soul.
No. It's a girl's name. Okay.
It's a
Who's the most
girl's name.
famous? Yeah.
Haktua dot soul.
I know. First lady
Actually,
name. That's
what?
first lady's name.
Oh,
Melania. Really?
Melania Trump.so.
Oh.
47K. Okay.
Do you think?
And
damn.
it
Do you think
was
she?
Okay.
I don't know. I don't, but
We don't know if it's real.
I
Whoever
really
got it.
don't know. It
Yeah.
was bought during January this year. So the
Wow.
timing was well around that I think that week that
Yeah.
things happened. So
Wouldn't it be really hilarious to read some sort of congressional testimony or some sort of court documents and you're like, and belonging to World Liberty Financial are the following domains. It's like Melania Trump.
yeah, I think it would be very, very
Possible.
entertaining to read that
Yeah.
document. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so I mean, like, I'm very happy with like how the LFG is going. It's ending in 9 days, guys. 9 days. So if you
Yeah.
haven't secured your domain, right, and you can do it with just $1. Right. If you've been watching from the sideline, you've been quite upset with the market this past week, you
Yeah.
know, there's one thing you can do, which is like get a $1 domain right now.
Yeah.
Claim your
Mhm.
Web3 name, like with
Mhm.
SNS.id, lock
Yeah.
in your identity. And as Simon said, name is valuable. And for me, I think it's one of the most valuable asset on the internet. And with SNS, it's on the blockchain where it's there on Solana,
Yeah.
the best blockchain out there. And with or if you already have your .so, right, make sure you tag your friends, share the link, share the news. 9 days, okay. And yeah, that's the end of the LFG. We have a lot more coming up. Also with our co-sponsor today. So that's more like the Q3, Q4 thing, but please stay tuned on that. But right now,
Hmm.
9 days left, guys. Claim your .so now at sns.id and let's
Actually,
make history together.
Simon, could you? I was looking at your
Yeah.
screen while Ohm was talking. Could you actually bring back up the LFG campaign? We can
Yeah.
actually go over that a little bit. I'll share your screen right here.
Yes,
But yeah,
LFG.
here's the LFG campaign. And as you can see, there's 9 days. I actually wrote 10 days left. I apologize. Like I was looking at this last night, but it's like there's actually less time than you think. It's like you got
Mhm.
9 days left to claim your IDs. There's a 95% discount for domains that are over 10 characters and above. And like I buy like Ohm knows this, but I buy domains as memes. So I actually have like I actually literally just bought one right before the stream, which is 10 days left. But I actually think I have to buy a new one, that's like 9 days left.
Which one did you? Oh, yeah. Oh, 9 days left. And
No.
tomorrow, 8 days left.
Yeah. I think I need to buy one. It's like one for each day of Christmas. I got 10 days left, 9 days left, 8
Wow.
days left. But yeah, there's
Wow.
very little
Actually,
time to.
that's really genius idea because you can actually use it for any event that has a countdown. Not sure you want to use that for your anniversary, but
Yeah.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah. The coolest idea ever. Yeah.
Yeah. So Diamond.Soul was the one that performed the best for you, but then you also like obviously have these like very high ticket items, and then we have something that we're cooking for the new version of Soul Brothers that will be coming out in the coming weeks. But like, yeah, there are some big ticket domain purchases that happen, especially for .eths. And you had mentioned to me in private once, yeah, I think it was over at Crossroads over in Istanbul, that you can actually no, it was in Hong Kong at the
Mm.
Monkey DAO lunch, and you were saying that SNS actually acts as a canary in the coal mine for activity, right? Because like when you start to see a bunch of people buying .sol domains, it's almost like a proxy for how bullish people are feeling on Solana. Like, isn't that something that you've seen reflected in the data
Mm.
over time? Is that
Yeah.
like the more .sol purchase you see, the hotter Solana is? Like, do you pay attention to
I
that data?
I actually quite do pay attention to that data. I think like the most obvious one was like January, like so obvious, right? Like I think like because we also like
Mm.
part of this main ecosystem, like kind of a beta play on Solana as well. So like we think like definitely it's related. Once people know Solana, I mean they download the wallet, right? And like with the wallet, next thing, oh maybe looking at the Sol domain name as well. So right now, not only that, what we try to push towards having and accessibility for people to come in to Solana. We also work with like Solflare, for example, Coin98, like wallets provider to actually
Mm.
team up and make it even easier for those guys. Jupe is also will have
Mhm.
like something coming up. Like I can't tell you
Nice.
right now, but I'm super
Mhm.
excited for this. Yes, in Q3, Q4. So the goal is the same, right? Like I mean on DeFi front, so many things happening, but then on bringing the next million billion user
Mhm.
accessibility, how to make it super easy for people to onboard. There's still a lot of work to be done, and we really do want to be a part of this.
Mm.
Identity again is the core, and Simon knows this space. We also running campaign with Solana ID as well. So I think with that, like we want to bring more of that like into the picture as well. And yeah, we cooking up a lot of things. So please stay tuned.
Yeah.
Cool.
In terms of where you see the future of like .sol, right? I actually think that there's a lot of interesting strategic angles to take, right? There's the low hanging fruit, like making partnerships with wallet providers, so that as a part of the onboarding flow for any new user on Solana, like of course they would want a human readable domain. Excuse me. So like that's like one kind of area to go into. But another area that I think is super popular, even though websites have largely died because people prefer to use aggregators now, but still there's a place in the world for personal websites and for having like your own digital real estate online. And it's like, how do you think about your company's future in the context of like web domains, right? Because you've actually done some really cool work to enable you can use your .sol domain to spin up a website in like almost
Mm.
seconds, right? So could you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about other strategic directions that people might not be paying attention to? Like, yes, of course, you can use your .sol utility for like just making it easy for people to send you money, but there's like
Yep.
a whole bunch of other shit that you guys are thinking about as well.
Yeah, so I think there are three themes to this, right? Like number one is definitely identity. Your .so is your identity. You can flex it on Twitter. People can send money to you with your .so. Right? You can basically meme it as your favorite. That's also like part of your identity as well, like how would use it. So that's definitely number one. You can also actually link your social profile, website, any data related to you to your .so. So if you go into sns.id, in your domain, there's identity page. You can actually like link up a lot of things about you on that as well. Number
Mhm.
two is .so as an asset class. So as Simon mentioned, in Web2, people trade domains like crazy. Right? There's like 300 million domains out there. They're trading. There's a lot of companies that like benefit from this. I think with blockchain, it simplify all this like trading of this asset class and make it more accessible to anyone without the middleman, right? So you can see on the secondary market, multiples bid and offer, and we want to push that. We're working on the marketplace right now, so should be done in Q4, and we're going to push it really hard in Q1 next year. Last thing is .so as a network. I think it's the largest network on Solana, guys, with this domain name registration and people utilizing .so. So we want to stay there. We want to be there. The integration with all the partners, be it the wallet or other like apps, the apps on Solana, that's create a network, right? Like you can be have one name and be everywhere. That's where we want to be. And also we want to create like ecosystem whereby once you get an SNS domain with your .so. An idea is, for example, having something like defi.om.so, and then you have all this ecosystem partner on Solana without having to leave, and then start trying them out. Right away, know right away where to go, what to do, etc. So a lot of also education around like what Solana has to offer for people who own a .so domain and for the community as well. So just to summarize again, identity at first, asset class come in a second, and last thing is the most awesome network on Solana.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Love that. Thank you so much for sharing all that. And actually a couple of ideas from our audience. I love Neil from the OR community. He works over at OR, and he said would be interesting to chart domain purchases versus SOL price versus SOL activity. That actually might be some alpha that that has in his privy to, but I'm sure there's a lot of community members who would be interested in that. And then
thank you for that idea as well. I mean, we're building like more of stuff like this, right? So data can be more accessible and easy to like interpret and follow. So Dune dashboard will be coming very, very soon. So please stay tuned. Yeah.
Yes. And I see Simon is just casually buying .sol domains in the background. What did you just buy? What did you just buy? What the fuck?
I just bought McFletcher.sol.
Oh.
because Will is in the chat, and he's stupid. He didn't secure himself McFletcher.sol for $1. He only secured himself Will McFletcher, I think, if he's that one. So now I own McFletcher. Will, if you want to have your own name, just give me like $50. You can have
it. So
there we go. P2P trade on the spot.
Will said Alcoser Controle. That's so. What does that mean? What does that mean in German?
I mean, it doesn't mean anything, but it's a rapper.
It's a rapper. Okay, it's a
German rapper.
Okay, German rapper. Catch me if you can. So I actually tried to buy this just now, like on the stream, but it looks like whoever owns it, they got Catch Me If You Can. And don't look at my search history. It says "fuck your pump," which is not what you think it means. It was like we don't really enjoy pump fun on this stream, and so we often troll them. But I could see why other people would see that and kind of ask questions there. Catch Me If You Can. Sol. Unfortunately, that one's already
that's
taken.
A good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Probably Will has it.
Yeah, Will says I got Will. Well, you don't have McFletcher.sol, so that's an L for you, my friend. Cool. Christian GM.sol. That's definitely taken. All the GM variants.
Yeah, with how many M's you want. Yeah.
Who the hell is Barry Allen? Nick, who's Barry Allen? I have no idea who that is. Interesting. Oh, we definitely have to get Crypto Terminator. Cryptominator.
Okay, he says Crypterminator.
Crypterminator. Yeah, these are all good .sol names. Well, adding new people to the family. Excuse me?
Yeah, they're coming in and like it's so creative, right? And guys, it's $1. So what's stopping you, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's only $1 for the domains, and like, so it's your stats are really freaking me out because like literally, I saw a promotional graphic on SNS socials that was like, we just broke 350K, and now you're coming onto the stream like a couple of days later, and you're like, we're at 370K, which is also like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, $1 campaign is ending, guys. So another reason for you to just get it right now before it ends with the LFG campaign on August 13th. So
yeah.
Get it while it lasts.
Yeah. Chase your domain. .sol.
Chase your domain. Yeah, always. Right.
All right. Well, thanks for coming over. Is there anything else you want to tell the people? We of course have a SNS update corner that we will be going over in a few minutes. But before you go, maybe don't talk about the Solana IND integration. We want to talk about that on the stream. But is there anything you want the people to know? We got 9 days left. Not 10 for the LFG campaign. Collect as many dots as possible. Anything else you want to tell the people?
Well, I think like I just want to thank you, right? Like anyone who's listening, anyone who listening to Solbrata right now, and those who will register, or maybe you have registered a bunch of .so domain names, right? thank you. I mean, you're the reason that keeps us going. And this is like one of the biggest campaign we have ever done. We working our butt off for this like every day until the very like wanted to keep adding more utility, want to keep bringing all the funds to the community. So it wouldn't happen if without you guys, right? So thank you so much for supporting us. And yeah, cannot wait for what's next for .so, for our community. And the best thing is it's so fun with you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, before you go, I just got an idea from Neil, and I can't help myself. Inu.so.
Yeah, just add enough use
How
to
many
get it for $1.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7.
Okay.
Maybe a bit more.
Okay. I think this will qualify. Inu.
Yes. Yeah. That works.
Okay. So all you got to do is go over to the SNS.id website, make sure that you have enough U's in your name, and then you and then you register. Yeah, and then it's just $1. We're gonna use USDC over here. Confirm. Look at that 95% discount. Love to see it. Perfect. And now I have way too many domains. Okay, I own cocainekoreanenergy.sol, probably my favorite domain that I own, quite frankly. And for those of you who've been paying attention for the last couple of weeks, they've completely redone this My Domains page so that each URL feels like an actual social media profile, right? And then you can also start to associate subdomains here, which I actually want to start looking into. This looks pretty sick. And so on and so forth. So glad that I got eno.sol because we don't want the scammers to have it. Anybody want to front? Fuck you, Nick. What the hell?
Always.
Trying to tell people to front run me on my own stream.
Yeah, kick him out.
Okay. Well, thank you again for your time, Om, and hope you have a great day. Yes.
Likewise, and see you guys very soon. Okay. See you.
See you soon.
Bye. Bye. Now.
All right, we keep rolling though, ladies and gentlemen. We're just getting started here at Soul Brothers Pod because we still have a packed agenda. We still have shit to talk about, and I think we're gonna have some news regarding SNS that we're gonna cover as well that we haven't touched on now with Om. But we also have some other crypto-related matters that are on the agenda this day, and it all starts with a look at the markets, doesn't it?
Woo! Yes, TA. Simon's TA corner.
Pull me up, bro. Get my screen on the share. Let me know if everything looks good there. I don't see it. But you see my screen?
Yeah, we see you.
Awesome. So like I said, we price went down. I mean, first and foremost, it's a good buying opportunity right now again because price dipped. The question is just how far are we dipping? Like always, we just don't know. We're deep in resistance, not gonna lie. So I think if we look at that chart here right now, we might even touch a support line here, like one of those silly ones. If we keep dripping a little bit longer, which hopefully will provide some more support. So that might happen as well. But that would be quite a deeper pullback because right now we already crossed through the 0.618 Fibonacci level for fourth wave correction after this third wave push here to the upside. So we're basically at the last bit of support here for my prime scenario to keep playing out, which looks a bit messy here on my chart, not gonna lie. I probably have to clean this up a little bit, but it all makes sense, trust me. We saw a 1-2 setup here, and we then saw a push to the upside. We're still in this third wave to the upside, this broader third wave. But inside of this third wave, there's another 1, 2, 3, and we're in the 4 right now, right?
Yeah.
And so this third wave, or this impulse to the upside, where the price was just keep going and going to the upside. And we always see this, like it's a lot of so usually what happens, especially in crypto, is the big boys are, to an extent, manipulating these charts to, tap into liquidity levels that are a bit beyond what the retail is expecting the price to do, to, liquidate a few people, take some money, because it's PvP, right? Like we're competing against other traders. Someone loses money, someone makes money. So the smart money traders, And the people with bigger bags, they're always hunting for your liquidation levels, and they're coming for you, because this push to the upside was a bit higher than I anticipated, and this pull to the downside is a bit deeper than I anticipated. So what can we learn from this? Always expect the market to go a bit more than what you expect it to do. The case is not invalidated yet. We might drop in one more pull down. This is actually my primary scenario right now, that we have one more pull down here to maximum $152. And then from there, we could see the push to the upside again, where we slowly find our way back up. For confirmation that the bottom for the fourth wave has been found, we need a 5 wave in a micro count up. Okay, right now we haven't seen that yet. We attempted a few times to do a 5 wave here, but it always broke down to lower levels. So over the weekend, we saw levels as deep as $150, $155 here. And right now we're trying to recover from that. So primary scenario, one more little pullback and then push to the upside. And then the second scenario, which also increases in chances the lower we dip, is that we will go back into a deeper support area, which might be up to like $140, $130-ish again. That is a possibility. That is right now, I'm still ruling it out, but only until we break this last resistance, this last support.
Yeah. There's actually something here that the uninitiated might be unaware of, but it's like this support line that you've drawn that's sloping upwards. Like, because I've been watching you do this for months, I understand this concept of like wanting to hit higher lows, right? Maybe you want to just break that down a little bit. I mean, like, all of this is arbitrary to a degree. It's just based on like what type of wave counts, and if you're looking at it, it's super zoomed in versus like over a larger time scale. But maybe you can explain to people like why you've drawn it specifically at this angle. You're having it touch 2 of the previous lows, right? So there's a low over in April, which is where kind of you're starting that line. And then there's a low over in kind of like mid-June, late or early July. So like, why would this line be touching those kind of lower support level, like those lowest lows? And like, why would you have it sloping upwards over time?
Yeah. So if we really saw a bottom here, local bottom, and if that's it, and we're going up from here, we need to print higher lows. And we've seen this in this 1-2 setup here, right? There was a 1-2 setup, and we touched on it with a higher low, and then the market pushed again to the upside. And we need to repeat that if we want to keep the trend intact, which is right now up, right? Once we would break this line, for example, this support line, the yellow one, the upwards trend could be in danger, right? That's one of the indicators. And why do these indicators work so well? It's because everyone looks at them. So that is as stupid as it is, right? Like, every trader looks at the same indicators, and that's why these indicators predict the future to an extent, because everyone is driven by the same impulses here, by the same indicators. That's why TA is not inherently wrong. Like, whoever says TA is bullshit, you cannot predict prices. Yes, you can, because as long as everyone is looking at the same indicators, they work to an extent. It's kind of self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So traders will be watching this support line, I'm very sure, and I can guarantee you that even if we would break that support line, we would at least see a bounce. Guaranteed. Like, we would at least see a bounce, and then we might see an attempt to break it. That happens once in a while, but you can also see even the volume profile. So basically the amount of money in the market is, and these price levels here, like between $152 and like $140, $139, there's like a spike in volumes, and this would be even where we could touch the line. So it's not an unrealistic scenario that we move closer to that line, and we could even touch that line without breaking the support here. Then the market just needs to go sideways for a while, right? Yeah, that could also happen. So there's a lot of scenarios how this can play out.
I actually love some of the comments that we're getting. Mondays are for the bros. Yes, Mondays are for the bros, but it will make sense. Soul for Simon.
Yeah, it's all gonna work out.
Only pull-ups with Simon. I agree, and I think that Neil's comment here is pretty correct. Like, fact, Simon, that's why TA can work pretty well, in my opinion. And BM also added that like market makers also look at technical analysis as well. It's like, it's all bullshit until everybody looks at the same shit. In which case, like, then it just becomes game theory and group psychology. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of unsophisticated investors in the market. But for folks that are trading at size, they understand that everyone else trading at size is looking for signal. And if you're looking for signal, then you tend to do things like technical analysis that have some basis in truth and just first principles, how humans behave in high stress trading scenarios. So like that's like where TA comes from, right? It's just like basic trading psychology. But then there's like kind of this extra flywheel effect of like, well, since we've all kind of agreed that this is basic trading psychology, we're all looking at the same indicators. And so we're all going to behave roughly the same, except for, as you put it, when sophisticated players are trying to shake motherfuckers out, what they'll often do is, you know, thanks for making all those switches, Simon. But when sophisticated traders are trying to shake people out and make money off of people like Simon Short, I'm sorry to bring up that short man, but you know they'll push up the chart a little bit.
Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, it is what it is. And it's happening right now as well with this pullback. So yeah, just be careful out there. It might be still unfolding, right? We haven't seen confirmation yet that the low is in. That's all I want to say.
Right.
Yep.
But you know, speaking of news beyond the charts, I mean, the charts I mean, quite frankly, this week look a little bit nerfed. They don't look a lot of fun. But like in general, like what's your kind of like take for the market? Like just not SOL as an asset, but like where are we just in the market in general?
Yeah. So I guess we're like zooming out, right? There's still a high chance that bigger pushes and liquidity inflows are coming. And that's what most people are waiting for. So I don't see a big risk right now that, you know, we're in the bear market, we're entering the bear market. Too many of the big picture indicators like the you know weekly RSI of Bitcoin or the Bitcoin dominance itself or the rainbow chart of Bitcoin that takes in some of the moving averages on a logarithmic scale. Like all these indicators that have worked prior are not signaling bear market right now. They're still signaling there's room for growth. And we always see it like every few weeks right now, we see a parabolic push to the upside where Bitcoin is just printing a new all-time high and people are like, oh fuck, what's happening again? Like we saw it at least 2-3 times right now this year where Bitcoin printed a new all-time high. And everyone was like, oh fuck, the bull market is starting. No, we're back. And you know, I think it's going to happen again. So you know, it's just like it keeps repeating itself. So people get washed out. You know, Bitcoin marks an all-time high, and it takes weeks of consolidation. You know, market goes down, price is finding or is discovering its bottom again, and then attempting for a breakout to the upside. And I think the global liquidity, the M2, is being pushed higher again by financial policy. Yeah, like that's basically the big thing we're waiting for, and that's also why the markets keep pumping right now, because people are pricing it in. And rate cuts are on the way as well, sooner than later, right? They're coming. So rate cuts are coming right now. They didn't come last week, but I think the next time the FOMC is going to go down, I think they'll probably touch on them. Trump really wants these rate cuts. He's going to make it, you know, he's going to make it work. And then last but not least, Project Crypto was just announced by the Fed, by the new chair, Atkins, I guess, right? Paul Atkins must be his name. And he basically laid out all these steps they want to take for more crypto in US. Period. That's the whole idea. So the SEC. So the SEC wants to move away from this. Okay, we don't tell you what you can do, just do it, and then we're going to sue the fuck out of you. They want to move away from that and be more like, okay, you can do whatever you want. We're only going to go after the criminals, right? The real criminals in crypto. And based on the cases that we open, you will know what's criminal and what not. And they already dropped all the cases that are not criminal that were opened by Gensler before, because he was basically anti everything. So Project Crypto is the most bullish fucking news that we have right now. Yeah. From US. And the first thing the price did was dump. Makes no sense. So there needs to be more upside. That's my theory.
I mean, I'm a very proud American, but I'm not going to pretend like we're not some paper-handed bitches. Like, Jesus Christ, the Americans will dump on anybody. It's like, Asia and Europe wake up and they just like they're so busy accumulating more Bitcoin and Solana, and then like all the Americans are all like, "Thanks for buying our bags, dump."
Yep, that's usually what you see. Yeah.
But there's not just bullish indicators for the macro economy. There's also bullish indicators for Solana in general. So Nick, if you want to bring up this next slide. Okay, we're gonna fix. Nope, Nick, you want to start working? Sorry, this is a teachable moment here, and I know we're live, but exactly, great job, Nick. So or not, we're gonna try this again.
That was me.
All right, cool. So Nick, you want to add from the side, show on stage, right? So here's the standard view, and then here's so standard view. We're gonna just take this off right now. Thank you, Nick. Yeah. So we're gonna bring Nick on real quick. Hey, hey, Nick, 3, 2, 1, smile. Hey, Nick, welcome. So Nick is doing all the back end operations now, and this is his first day on the job. This is a very confusing day, Nick, for you, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, but I'll get ahead of it. No worries.
Okay, we're just click the links on the side, okay, Nick?
Yep.
Yeah, no, love you, brother. All right, cool. Standard, and then going over to Eno screen share. You got it, Nick. 3, 2, 1. Can he do it?
And then this one.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, no. See, he's doing it on standard view again. All right, we're gonna have to teach Nick later. Yeah, he's doing it on standard view again. Never mind. This is not a teachable moment for Nick. Hold on.
You click. Otherwise, we're gonna.
Yeah. Sorry.
If everyone clicks, then
yeah, it's fine. So with 00, they've launched a 3 million Sol stake pool, which is meant to expand 00's high performance fiber network, support early testnet users, and accelerate validator performance and unlock geographic decentralization. That last one is very important, but most people don't pay enough attention to that for the Solana ecosystem in the long term. For people who might not be initiated, right? Like, what the fuck is a stake pool, Simon? Like, why should people care about this?
I mean, we have like a few stake pools on Solana that are delegating Sol to validators on Solana. And these stake pools are right now, they are probably the reason why we have a decent level of decentralization, I would say, honestly, because the stake pools, they allow a lot of these validators to be operational at all, right? Because running an operator or running a validator costs money, right? There's like a few things where you need to pay money for. You have server costs, either renting or just the data center. You have vote costs usually for just running and participating in votes. So there's actually a lot of costs that accumulate. And you're only able to be profitable as a validator if you have enough Sol staked. And where the fuck do you get Sol staked from? Like, it's not easy because there's a lot of opportunities to stake your Sol. These stake pools help you a lot to basically get Sol delegated. For a few reasons, you might be eligible to get that, right? And 00 is now basically one of these stake pools that can delegate. And I think their mission is definitely to support regions that are not yet frequented by validators. Like South Africa, they have like a big push down there. So if you're running a validator in these geographies, then you might be able to get some stake from these pools. And this way we can shape the validator landscape on Solana, right? We can decentralize it more because now validators are basically incentivized to set up in corners of the world where they wouldn't do it without stake pools like this, because now they have an economic reasons to do so.
Yeah. And as of today, they have over 174 nodes that are live on the 00 testnet. And that's like 3% of staked mainnet Sol is already migrated to 00. So, I mean, there's definitely... look, 00 is essentially trying to do hardware upgrades for Solana's existing validator network with fiber cables, right? So it's all like hyper-performant validators using 00 tech. And like this is obviously to help reduce latency, because most people know that even though Solana works on a proof of stake, proof of history model, like the crux of the Solana argument is that you don't need everything to be... scaled through software. You can actually scale sufficiently through hardware first, and other optimizations can be done via software, but first hardware is the best way to solve a lot of these latency issues. And so 00 is an extension of that philosophy, by which, like, instead of coming up with some sort of new ZK proof or like some sort of roll up, which are all things that are being worked on, those are all software upgrades, but there are real things that you can do on the hardware level to make Solana more performant. And so again, 00 is a doubling down of that thesis. I think that you and I also tracked like weeks or months ago that they 00 had gotten a delegation of how much was it, man? It was like almost like $500 million in Solana that got transferred through. We were talking about this, how it went through the Sanctum router, and it was like $500 million worth of. So I was like, Jesus Christ, like must be nice to have friends, Simon.
Yeah, some serious money getting pushed around. I mean, there's a lot of people with big bags of Sol, right? And it needs to go somewhere. Especially like the thing is, especially the big bag holders, right? I'm thinking like, Multicoin or Foundation, people that have also an intrinsic interest in Solana. That's why they're bag holders, right? Like they believe in the ecosystem, they want to support it, they're going to stake, they're not going to hold their Sol idle. At least it's my assumption.
Absolutely. And so our next piece of news, we're going to give Nick a second chance. Nick, there you go.
That was me. Anyway.
Oh, that was you? What the hell?
Okay, I'm going to stop clicking. I'm too used to this.
Wait, was it you or not?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Okay, well, I think Nick saw what was clicked there. It was the Eno screen share. But breaking, CBOE has filed for generic listing standards for crypto ETPs, which require the underlying asset to have futures trading on the U.S. exchange for at least 6 months. And now Sol futures have been listed since February 18th, which means that the requirement will be met on September 17th. September, that is a new month. September 17th, meaning Solana qualifiers. So, there's an October 10th deadline on pending Solana ETFs, which means that having this futures requirement met by September 18th leaves this about a 1 month window of time between being eligible for ETPs all the way to having the ETFs, which will be October 10th. So hopefully within that month, we actually see a flurry of exciting news. And for any discerning trader, they might be starting to open some longs.
Oh, yeah, in the long term, for sure. But I think, ETFs have been priced in like 10 times already in the Sol price. Like it's been an ongoing discussion. And so we all know they're coming. So...
Well, I'm a little confused because we already have Solana staking ETFs. I don't know if this tweet actually makes all that much sense because it's like this requirement is for ETPs. And my understanding is that exchange traded products like ETPs do not require, like ETFs don't require an ETP. And so an ETF deadline has nothing to do with an ETP requirement. Do you know what I mean? I'm not quite so sure why these two pieces of news are being bundled together because we already have, like we've talked about this, like SSK, right, which is a Solana staking ETF. So it's just like, what's the difference between a Solana staking ETF and these existing ETF filings? Maybe there's something that I'm misunderstanding here. Like if I just go over to Rex Shares SSK, like we have a live staking ETF. And looking at the allocation, it's at like 57% Solana, 41% in an ETP, which already seems to be live, right? And then LSD Solana, which is actually Jito Sol, so about like 1.6% of LSD Solana. So I am a little confused as to like why this is like news, if that makes sense. Like this all just kind of seems like a rehash of what we already know. But also just feel like this might be a poorly written tweet by Solana Floor. Love you, Finn.
I think that there's probably truth to it. Like I don't know why, but the only ETF that's currently approved is the SSK, so the staked Solana ETF. And all the spot or future based Solana ETFs, they have been not approved yet to a final extent by the SEC as of the state. So,
I see.
But there's like Vanek, 21 Shares, Bitwise, Grayscale. They all have pending applications. And I think there were like few announcements that probably what we remember as well here. There have been a few announcements of progress, where the filing was taken into consideration by the SEC and the reaction came back, which is already like a almost green light because they are actively engaging in a conversation with the issuers. But now the decisions that will be final are anticipated by the SEC's deadline of October 10. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Yep.
But that's not the only piece of news over in the staking world, Nick.
Is it not?
Yes, it's not the final piece of news, because the Jito Labs Multicoin, basically the Multicoin cabal, in partnership with Solana Institute, which we are huge fans of, they have submitted a letter over to Hester Pierce and the Crypto Task Force. And essentially what they're saying is that they are urging approval for LST's liquid staking tokens in ETPs, right? So apparently this has not been granted yet. And there's all kinds of reasons for why they want LSTs within ETPs and ETFs. And in fact, we even got a opinion letter from, I believe it was the SEC, saying that native stake SOL is not a security, but there's literally no development since then. And so this is Jito, I think, rallying very hard for LSTs, and we have to be thankful for them, especially us at Sanctum, for pushing this forward, because the majority of the LST market actually is Sanctum. So we would obviously love
liquidity is always good.
Yeah, I mean, like, you get like a Solana OG ETP, right? And then it's just game over, right? Like, of course you would want like Solid Soul to be getting capital from US markets. That would be absolutely phenomenal. What's a drop in the bucket for a retirement fund would literally double your stake for you.
That's huge. That's huge, actually. Like, that's I'm all for it. Please make it happen. Policy Institute and Jito, keep going. That's huge. We want that liquidity.
And you know, not just back row news, but we also have a lot of news coming out from the product world. So have you been paying attention to Meteora, Simon?
Yeah, I did. Of course.
Yeah.
What about it?
Yeah, I mean, so they have this new, feature where dynamic positions are live, which will unlock positions across 1,400 bins, and it's 20x cheaper, right? And there's a lot more bins too. I don't know if you. I mean, yes, I know you've used Meteor before in the past, but like 1,400 bins is like a lot more granularity than I think most people need. But that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot more granularity, but it also gives you less need to overwatch your position. Yeah, less hassle, more bins, because you're providing liquidity to a larger range of price, right? Of market cap.
Yes.
Which, because like what I find really, and I'm not the only one, but what I find really annoying using Meteora, honestly, is the constant monitoring, right, that you have to do with most of the things you do. If you set up a dynamic pool, like full range, of course, like, you don't need to monitor that a lot. But whenever you do DLMMing and when you have like restricted ranges, you always have to go in there. You have to check that if you're still in range. If you're not in range, you might need to pull out liquidity, place it somewhere else. Like there's a lot of things you actually have to monitor all the time. There's some products on Solana, like, I mean, DeFi Tuna, is getting a lot of attention. There's Cleopatra, which is building on top of Meteora. Like, there's a lot of DLMM products that are trying to simplify the usability of DLMMing and liquidity provisioning. But this is a good step from Meteora themselves towards a more hassle-free LPing. Good stuff.
But ideally, right, like, you wouldn't even need products like Cleopatra or DeFi Tuna or Maker.fun, which is built by a very good friend. Fuck. I feel so bad. Huh?
Yeah.
Culture. Jan. Culture and Jan.
Yeah, Jan is in there. Vince is helping. Yeah.
And it's basically all these tools on top of DLMMs and at the same time, it kind of makes sense for Meteora or for Orca, for example, to work in partnership with other LP tools, because for a sufficiently mature product, what will end up happening is feature creep, right? And you're probably already experiencing this with Solana ID, where as the product matures, you're just tacking on more and more features, and then things get a little, a little messy in the main site. And so maybe what makes sense is, instead of like making a DLMM tool for everyone, right? to have Cleopatra or Maker, which are services on top of Meteora, to kind of build the specialized functionality that some nerds would want, but you wouldn't want everybody who visits Meteora to have to look at and to try to understand, right? So yeah, I don't know, but it's that seems like a bare minimum requirement, though, is like having a much wider bin step range, and then like for the same price too, it's like only 0.05 Sol. So I mean that's absolutely nothing. But that's not the only cool news that's coming out of Meteora, Simon. Have you checked out this points tracker?
Yeah. I mean, that's what everyone's talking about. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the MET announcement that has been going out. Basically, everyone knows there's going to be an airdrop. There's going to be a token. There's going to be, value redistributed to people that have been using Meteora for a long time. And the points checker is there, which is utterly useless for you because it doesn't help you do anything. But it takes away your curiosity of just wanting to know, okay, how many points do I have? But it doesn't tell you anything else. So, I think it's funny because, the points checker is just, okay, it doesn't even tell you anything. Like, you don't even know the worth of these points. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we had to do a lot of kind of assumptions and calculations, and there have been a few posts on Twitter already where you could see some predictions of the points, right? So by now, I think we have some, like, obviously we never know because you don't know what FDV MET is going to have, the token. People say it's a $1 billion project. So they say Meteora should have a $1 billion valuation. They're definitely in that category, So it's very realistic to be in the billion and 2 billion or something. Fabiano posted about it. So let's say we reach the billion FTV, right? Then every million points you have would give you about $200, which is already, pretty good. If we have a 2 billion FTV, it's obviously double of that. So that's kind of the way to spin this. Obviously, these are all assumptions. We don't know if these numbers are going to be correct, but to give you an idea.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty reasonable, right? Because we already know what percentage. Actually, a lot of this makes sense because we already know the max amount of points that have been distributed. Like Meteor has already said it. So if you already know the amount of points that have been distributed, and then you also know, okay, 8% of the token supply is going into 2024 LP years, and then 5% of the token supply is for everybody in 2025 and afterwards. Then you can actually, they haven't told us the split between 2024 points and 2025 points. And so like there is going to be a little bit of math that we lose there in terms of like what exactly is this valued at. But roughly speaking, we know within a range, okay, if we're talking about 13% or excuse me, 8 plus, I'm retarded. 13% of the, I think 13% of the token supply has been given out or earmarked for the community. And we're talking like a $1 billion valuation. Then, you can kind of roughly map, how much these points will be worth. So, congratulations to anybody who has. I've been seeing screenshots of people with like almost like a 250 million or sometimes even like 500 million points. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys, that is a lot of points.
Yeah. That's some serious liquidity provisioning with big numbers.
Yes,
that you've been doing. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, obviously Meteor is going to be one of the bigger airdrops this year. But we also have something really interesting right now, which is our Solana mainnet rollout is live by Poof New. Type a prompt and get an on-chain app. So we have a vibe coding has launched to Solana. I don't know. Like, I'm really I'm going to like this real quick. I love the concept of it, right? To be able to poof an app, a dApp into existence, backed by Alliance DAO, which is one of the OG crowdsourcing tools for Web3. But I'm just wondering, what do you think about this? Like launching a dApp in seconds?
I think it's great. I mean, honestly, it's super powerful. So, and you can't do it with any other product out there because they're missing the Solana native libraries, but Poof has it all. So I think it's pretty dope. Like it helps for more experimentation out there, right? Because it gets easier to just shoot out apps and products.
Yeah. So right here, they're showing us a demo of launching something called Flywheel Launchpad to mainnet. So the thing is that ideas like this make sense until you have to go into detail. You know what I mean? Like, sure, the agent might be able to code a launch pad, but if you're trying to build something truly unique, so let's take, for example, Moonwalk, right? Like, let's pretend like Moonwalk didn't exist in the world. Like, I'm very skeptical that an app like Poof could actually launch Moonwalk in seconds, right? Like, that just makes no sense. Like, it would need a lot more finagling, a lot of kind of fine tuning in order to even figure out, because I don't even think the Moonwalk devs, when they first started out, knew exactly what the app would look like, because there's so much feedback that they have to get from consumers before it becomes a reality. Yeah.
I mean, it gets the ball rolling. And maybe that's not maybe the use case is more like to allow non-technical people to fuck around and play around, and at least get started and get some MVPs ramped up as quick as possible. You'll need tech expertise at some point still, to go in and debug and so on. But I think the tools like this can already help you a lot to at least get started with something.
Yeah, at least give you a proof of concept to pitch at Coliseum. Like, I read this post the other day, and I'm not so sure you agree, but it's like, the gist of it was, if you're going into a hackathon now with no digital properties, like it's just the idea, like you haven't been able to vibe code anything, then like very bearish on you, because it's like there's no if you're not intelligent enough to vibe code at least like a concept for what you're talking, and not even the full-fledged thing, but like this is what we're roughly thinking.
Yeah,
that it's a question of like, well, I mean, if you won't put in the effort. I mean, yeah, in the past it was harder, right? Like legitimately, like there was an excuse. I don't. Do you agree with that? Like, if you're not vibe coding for your hackathon,
no, for sure, man.
Yeah,
for sure. It is. It's still not easy, right? You can't just dump your thought there and you have a finished product. You still have to like iterate around, find the right prompts, and so on. It takes effort, but it's possible. So you should definitely go out and do it, even if you're not a dev by trade.
Yeah. And if you can't do it, then if you're unable to convince someone in your social network to do it for you, then also bearish on you, right? Because it's all like, the whole point of being a founder is to solve problems until you get to, whatever lifestyle that you're looking for, right? And if you can't solve the basic problem of like, I don't have anybody who can help me vibe code, it's all I don't know what to tell you. Probably shouldn't be starting a company.
Yep. Hard truth.
And this next announcement is a little strange. I'm not quite so sure what to do with this 3D Pepe. Holy shit, that is very intense. I'm going to play that from the beginning. We're looking at memes on 9gag, Born to Pump, Pepe meme, and now we're bonding this meme from 9gag, and it is, bonded, blown up. Now the price is pumping because, price only ever goes up. Culture minted. This is a 9gag Moonit collaborate. This almost seems like a Jesse from Base idea.
Is 9gag still a thing? That's my first question. Like the last time I heard the word 9gag was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're still alive. They're still doing shit.
Holy shit. They have 16 million followers on.
Damn. I mean, 9gag, they're a huge deal. They've been around, like I said, since decades.
Yeah.
And now they're a crypto project.
Okay. Sorry, I have to just mention this real quick. This is a Korean dating show called Better Late Than Single that I just finished watching over the weekend because my wife has forced me to watch the show. It's been very painful. She's also trying to make me watch K-pop Demon Hunters, and I'm also very upset by this. But anyways, don't get me into that. Don't get me into this. But this scene was, I actually did watch. This scene was hilarious. This dude waited for, I think, 2 hours for his date to come, and he didn't come. And all the other people who had their dates canceled got super upset. And this guy just pulled like, he's all like, as soon as the cast, the filming cast told him like, your date's not coming, he's like, that's fine. He calls the waiter and he orders like a 3-course meal. 1 course would be good enough for a person. And he just had like his own official like shoot of just binge eating.
Legend. What a legend. Someone please make a meme out of this.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
And now you can turn this 9gag Memeland Moonit collaboration into a coin, I suppose. Solana is blessed from people on high. I wonder who's their partners.
That's crazy, man.
If they're working with MoonPay, yeah, they're probably working with Meteora. Makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, I guess new. I mean, to be honest with you, this seems like a very polished version of what Jesse was pitching, and I feel like executed a lot better in terms of the comms. Because I don't see anyone roasting this, but do you see any measurable difference between this and what Jesse has been pitching?
I think so. I don't get it yet. I have to admit fully, I don't get it yet. Like the first AI protocol.
You tokenize memes. That's it. You're automatically tokenizing memes, but this time it's done through 9gag.
Okay. Haven't we been doing this since a year?
I think what makes this one slightly different, though, is that instead of what Jesse was proposing, which was like, hey, I've created an app, I would like you... So he has to solve this chicken and egg problem of people posting user-generated content on an app that he's just created, right? Whereas this is a much better idea because it's... I mean, on the surface level, it's the same, but what's different is that you don't have to solve the chicken and egg problem, which is that you already have people who are shit posting on 9gag, and now you're just adding like a button to the existing UI that allows you to launch a meme for it. So I guess, yeah, that's the main difference here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally tremendously unimpressed, but I guess that's just because I've been seeing too much of this shit in the past 12 months, and I'm just like, oh, can we do something new? Can we do something meaningful for once? Yeah.
Well, speaking of doing something meaningful, this might tickle your pickle. So
what do you got for me? Please.
Orca has just. Oh man, I hope we're not getting a bunch of dirty comments. Are we getting anything? No one's had said anything from tickle your pickle. But Orca has just launched Wavebreak, and I don't know if you've been paying attention to the new Orca account, but the new intern is actually funny. I like the new intern. And Bots Ruin launches, Wavebreak ruins bots. So this is truly an anti-bot launchpad. And don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of launchpads. Like Meteora has been working on this, like their ASS suite, which is an anti-sniper suite. But also Orca is finally coming into the fray with Wavebreak. And Wavebreak is the human-first launchpad of Solana, made possible by anti-bot technology, permissionless token creation, a points program for pre-graduated tokens, and a graduation LP reward for creators. So that's great. It's a human-first launchpad. I don't use launchpads enough or launch enough tokens, or any tokens for that matter, to really understand what that means for a user's perspective. But at the very least, what they're really focusing on for this messaging is that this is anti-bot technology with a bunch of incentives for people who are launching tokens on Orca. So that's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, it is good because usually bots are very destructive, right? For any token launch, they can quickly just, pump and dump your token and over and out. And then Wavebreak introduced a new incentive program, which is also very interesting. Basically, they're incentivizing you for investing in pre-bonded tokens. So right now on the UI, you see, they're bonding. They haven't bonded yet on the bonding curve. So if you invest in those tokens pre-bonding and then they bond, not only is the market cap probably higher, and you made an ROI on this, but you also will get something from a rewards pool for investing in these pre-graduated tokens. So basically, you're accruing points for investing in pre-graduated tokens. I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I knew that Orca has been working on this since a while, the launchpad, and now it's out. And I think it's definitely an interesting idea. And I'm happy that Orca is honestly in the market now as well.
Yeah, but there's just a couple of these that I'm not a fan of. But I oh no. Or comes.
There's a few, the Orcasm. Orcasm.
Orcasm.
It also went like semi-viral the other
I don't
day.
know. I think Nick probably made this coin. Nick is Malaysian. It's the Malaysia coin, which is a nation united by swear words and discrimination, which I don't think is true. I think, I mean, I lived in Malaysia for a little bit, but I didn't find it to be that discriminatory compared to, let's say, other countries that I won't name. But I love that. We should rename this this coin Bole. You ever heard of that phrase before? Bole?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
BOLEH. I think it just means like LFG, like let's fucking go, if I'm not mistaken.
Bole.
Yeah. Bole.
Nice. Good. It's good to know, though.
Yes.
I keep that in mind.
So yeah, we Wavebreak is interesting, and honestly, like I'm just loving the new Orca Twitter. I pay a lot of attention to branding and people, but they obviously have done a great job getting people to know more about Wavebreak. And in a industry with so many goddamn launch pads, it's not easy. In fact, I'm going to go over to the Jupe AG standings today.
Yeah.
How are we doing on the launch pads, huh?
Bonk is still bonking.
Yeah, but a new entrant, actually not even a new entrant. We've heard about them over the last few months, but they haven't been making many moves over in Solana as Bags. So Bags is from the Ethereum ecosystem. It's interesting to see them crack the top 3. Bonk Fun is obviously still leading market share at 67%. Pump is at 22%, a little bit of revival there. Jupe is back down on 4th. And I don't think we see Orca just yet, but we will see Orca in good time, I am sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Climbing up the ladder.
Yes, climbing up. And of course, the next announcement that we have is something called Sleepagachi. You ever play with Tamagotchis when you were younger, Simon?
I have not. No, I have. I know about it, but I was never.
Yeah.
Into this stuff.
So I mean, for people who lived in Eastern Europe, you probably have never heard of Tamagotchi. I'm kidding. I know.
Yeah, fair point though. I don't think it would perform very well down here.
That's probably true though. But Tamagotchis were these like plastic toys. It was like a digital pet, and you had to shake the device in order to feed it. And it's just like the weirdest 90s invention game ever. But now they have Sleep to Earn, which is a play on Tamagotchi. Sleep, earn rewards, now live for a limited time on iOS and Android. So it's basically the moonwalk of sleep. And there's a 3-week preview from July 29th to August 19th. You have about, I think, 2 weeks to get this, get your rewards, and you can earn V-Sleep based on your sleep pattern. So I guess the better you sleep, the more money you make, which actually sounds like a good proposition. I like that.
What happened to the world? What are we doing with our life? It's sleep to earn.
Yes.
Let that sink in. It's like, what the fuck? Sleep to earn.
Yes.
There's products that the best to earn product that I found so far was something with the slogan "work to earn." I was like, fuck yeah. Tell me about it. Wow, you reinvented one of the core, whatever. But Sleep to Earn is definitely, it's a good one. I'm a user of a sleep app, so I would be in the target audience. I would try it out. Why not? Curious to see how that works. And I'd love to understand the mechanics behind it, but I guess they either have like some premium plan where you get added features, or they will use the users they have for advertisements, so they can monetize over that way. Because the question is, what's the business model if you pay me to sleep, bro? Like what? Yeah. How do you make money? So I guess there's probably some mechanic like this built in. But yeah, we'll try it out and we'll let you know how it goes, if I sleep better or not.
Yeah. Cyberbroda says, it reminds me of the early episode with Poop to Earn. There are just so many different to earn schemes. I just love the way you put it, work to earn, which that's just called a job, bro.
Exactly. Yep. That's
sir.
Pretty much what I was thinking. Yeah.
Work to earn, says BM. Yes, we would all like to work to earn. Just do your goddamn job, guys. It's not that hard.
Silly.
Oh, always silly. But that's not all that we have for announcements. Of course, Jupiter is cooking every single fucking week. I think last week we spent 20 minutes just talking about all the different Jupiter updates, and we absolutely love Jupiter, but we're going to keep it a little bit more efficient this time. And the first stat that we are going to bring up is that Jupiter portfolio has just hit 1 million users. I cannot find this graphic, but that is absolutely phenomenal. Jupiter portfolio has reached 1 million monthly users. Clearly something with utility. I use Jupiter portfolio all the time. Simon, what are your thoughts on Jupiter portfolio?
It's insane. Like that's a lot of traffic per month. It's very valuable metric to have. Like in crypto, to have 1 million people coming to your app every single month is definitely a very good metric, very valuable metric. You can do a lot of things with that. So bullish, and the progress is great.
Yes.
So it's
and I'm so glad that they have announced this new update to Jupiter. 4 years, thousands of hours, one goal: protect traders at scale. Verify version 4, faster approvals, clearer guidelines, and the most streamlined process for token verification yet. Thank you so goddamn much. I have so many people who message me. I'm sure they message you too, Simon, saying like, "You're close with the Jupiter team, right? Could you tell me how to list a token?" It's all like, brother, no, I can't. And so now just go to verify V4. I don't want to hear no DMs from people asking me how to get their token verified.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's how it worked, like a while ago. That's how it worked. Like you had to know someone at Jupiter, and they did the V1 basically, and it was all manual work and group chats and so on. And then they tried the organic score. They got rid of the application form. But I think now it's this version now seems very legit to me. Like you have an application form again, you can apply to get your token in there and get it verified, and you can even fast track the process. If you really want to get it done in 24 hours, you can pay $1,000 and you get it, which is also a standard practice. Like CMC is doing it. I think CoinGecko is also doing it. So that's fine.
No, I totally agree. And so, man, these updates are coming hard and fast, but we also have a Jupe Pro Launchpad screener update. So you can now sort by total volume or new volume, which is an interesting new feature that they've added to Jupiter Pro. There's a new report on, this is really interesting. Jupiter raked in a whopping 38.4 million from its product suite, but is this for... And just in Q2? Jesus Christ. Dude. That's just fucking insane. Jupiter ranks number 1 in volume across all DEX aggregators. I mean, combined. Right? Like you take 1inch network all the way to Cetus, and it's like, I don't know what to tell you. It's just Jupiter is fucking crushing it right now. Almost over $900 billion in swaps. I mean, at some point, don't numbers just seem to lose meaning, Simon?
They do. It just, by now, it's like you don't even know what that means anymore. Like 900 billion is like a fucking huge number. But it's just like, the product works. It does its job. It does the job very well. And that's it. So that's all you need. There's no, So Jupiter swaps are just, they're just working. And obviously they're profiting from Solana, right? Like we have the most tokens being created on Solana, the most trading activity, the most, people are on Solana. So like, they're in a very good spot.
And last thing I think to mention is that JupeSol has grown significantly over the last month. So it's over $1 billion in TVL. And also, fun fact, Sanctum SO runs that validator. So if you have a validator and you think that you want to have a Jupiter class validator, just reach out to me. I'll help you with it. And not only that, but Jesus Christ, that's just crazy. Just over $1 billion in a single validator. It's the 7th biggest validator on Solana right now. I guess congratulations to Jupiter, Sanctum, everybody who's winning with LSTs.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But Simon, we've been talking a lot about. Excuse me.
But nothing. What are you saying?
We've been talking a lot about merch recently for reasons that I won't disclose, but I do want to talk a little bit about some cool merch that we found. Have you seen this latest merch to come out of store.fun?
I have not seen it yet, actually.
Yeah. So looking at this newest merch from store.fun, you'll see that SNS, our partners, are going to be launching hoodies and
Cool.
shirts that are customizable with your .soul name. So I actually really love that. I'd love to have a Soul Brothers .soul, right? Or a Eno.soul or a Crypto Terminator .soul.
Or Korean cocaine, Korean energy. That's all.
Actually, that would be fucking sick. Cocaine, Korean energy. Yes.
The most random one you can put on
Yes.
there. That's cool, man. I like that. That's good. I mean, the fact that you can customize it is really cool as well.
Yes.
So yeah, if you want a custom hoodie, you can get it now. Store.fun, I guess.
Yeah, store.fun is another place where you can get that. And then what else do we got from? See, this is the graphic I was talking about, dude. Like literally 4 days ago, they said that they had over 3, and I was really excited to get excited about this, but now Ohm stole all my thunder. Like we're at 370,000 .soul domains that are registered, which is a great little stat. And moving on from that, .soul isn't just a flex; it's your foundation. They have a forever build-a-thon that they're working on with WebHash, and essentially you can win a prize pool, of different domain coupons, WebHash Pro titles, as well as like 400 USDC, and put it on your .soul to compete for prizes. So that runs from that was a very short campaign from July 29th to August 30th. Maybe should have made that a little bit longer, but yeah, the Web3 Forever Build-a-thon. So SNS is doing with a bunch of things around the ecosystem. So really appreciate that. This collaboration, however, lasts for longer than a day. So Simon, you want to tell them all about the things that you're doing with SNS or with Solana ID?
Wait a second. Before I need to correct you, the campaign that you criticized is running for a month, bro, no? From July to August 30?
The campaign that so Eno does a thing from July. I am indeed a retard. So from July 29th to August 30th, which is the month, it's not a day, because why would it be a day? Think for just a second, Eno. That makes no fucking sense. So of course, get a .soul domain, use web hash to deploy a sign on it, if anything, and post onto Twitter and tag SNS. So who's the person who called me out? It's Lord Shaw. He's all like, it's for a month, and here's the part he didn't say. You retard. Yes, you are correct. It's for a month. Yeah. Thanks, Simon.
Okay. Well, anyway, moving on. Indeed, we are also collabing, and actually the whole reason why we did this was more to help SNS to get awareness for the $1 domains, because we felt like not enough people know it. So we were like, okay, everyone who's holding a Solana ID, we wanna shout out to them. So we put SNS in our Solana ID hub, and we're gonna display a little perk frame as well in our display network, so people will just see the SNS $1 domain, and they will get the information, because I think it's just like not enough people knew it. So it's really an awareness campaign where Solana ID was like, okay, we're gonna help you guys to get more people know about the $1 domain until it lasts.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we even have a very good friend BM here who keeps on top of most of the stuff in the ecosystem, and even he has a question, which is like, do we still have a discount on SNS? Well, Simon, do we?
I mean, the $1 thing is still there. Okay, so that's for sure. But for 10 characters plus, right? So if you want to have less than 10 characters, you need to either buy one or stay tuned, because we have vouchers, both Solana ID and Soul Brothers. So there will be some activations as well, where you can get a free domain for 5 characters or more, even. But we're gonna do some competition around these things for some giveaways.
Yes. And I guess in more Twitter drama news, we don't talk about drama all that much anymore, but have you been paying attention to Banks, who's a part of the I don't pay attention to any of these losers. Just
what happened now? What did I miss?
Well, do you remember the LA vape cabal?
A little bit.
Yeah, with Frank Degots. I think that this is one of the guys in the LA vape cabal, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know the relationship between LA vape cabal and FaZe clan. Apparently, I mean, bro, they got over 5 million followers, so they, what the fuck do I know? So apparently these guys are big. I don't know exactly what they do, but it does seem that they do like a lot of live trading. And so there was like this really long kind of sappy post that he wrote about like, oh my God, I've never scammed anybody in my life. And he's since deleted that tweet. And he's like, I have to stay away from I have to stay away from crypto Twitter now because this place is so fucking toxic. And what everybody is reminding him in the comments is like, for someone who never has scammed anyone his entire life, you seem to have been very heavily involved in a token scandal called MLG. And there's these screenshots between, you know, I think Frank. So this is Banks, you know, texting a guy named Ricky, and he says, "Me and Frank want to buy big bags OTC. Really, only way for you and other team members to sell right now. Anything you'd be interested in? We want bigger positions. Blah blah blah." So the long and the short of it is that he was doing a bunch of OTC deals that seemed to be not in the interest of the MLG community. And so, like, I don't know. It's just one of those people who's talking a lot about. You know, I do nothing but good things for the community, and at the same time, you know, selling the tokens, you know, while people of the FaZe clan were promoting it. So, I mean, this is just all typical streamer
pretty
news.
Obvious, like without being deeply involved in that topic, it's pretty obvious what they do, right? Like they're just pumping and dumping, like they're literally like textbook kind of act here, where they just, you know, pick a token, buy OTC, talk about it, make it pump, what was it, 200%, and then cash out their OTC bags that they bought in 200% earlier, and then send it down 90%. If you have following and reach in today's world, you have so much power. It's insane, and crypto is the pinnacle of that.
Yeah.
So you always had power with reach, because you were able to influence people. That's why we call them influencers. You're always able to, you know, make opinions, and that's why we call them key opinion leaders, right? So whatever, like you always had this power, but now you also have financial power since a long time now, because of crypto, because you can monetize the attention that people pay you, and there's a lot of people that make use of that in a bad way. You know, they exploit it. And he definitely, sorry for being very, how you say, like superficial, but he definitely looks like one of these people. And all his associated people, like Frank and so on, like it's all the same cabal, right? And I think crypto Twitter is only toxic when you are toxic. So get the fuck out of here. Like if you're rugging people and you're always trying to hide and say something different, yes, it's going to be fucking toxic, because people are going to call you out, they're going to insult you, they're going to get nasty as fuck here.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, nobody in this fucking space reads. So, like, there's plenty of instances in which it's like, did you guys not read anything? Like, how could you guys not be working on the same basis of truth here? So on the one hand, I do kind of like deeply empathize. Sometimes, you know, motherfuckers just don't read, and that's just, it is how it is. But, you know, for this particular instance, it just you're looking at the on-chain data, and then you're looking at what people are tweeting, and you go like, one of you is lying, and I don't think it's the on-chain data.
Yeah.
And I think the last bit of news that we'll cover, that's not exactly crypto news, but I think is just kind of worth talking about, is that Figma listed on the New York Stock Exchange. And the reason why that I think the Figma listing on the NYSE was such notable news was because of it was listed at a very low valuation. And many analysts, especially like Adobe's bankers, said that, you know, it wouldn't crack like a 20 billion valuation. I think it got almost to like a 40 billion valuation. And on top of that was like super undervalued. And so essentially what that means is that people who had access to, you know, private earlier were able to buy or sell faster depending on where, like they were able to run, like legally front run the stock, which is why there's this larger conversation of, and Meow desperately wants to see this happen, but a company releasing their equity on chain as opposed to doing it through a typical stock exchange, because then you get true price discovery from day one. So like that's just very interesting, this idea of like equities on chain, and that way getting rid of like all the disgusting middlemen that exist for getting listed on the New York Stock Exchange. And like, to be very clear, there are a lot of disgusting middlemen there as well.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. And we're yet to see that really. We now managed to get stocks on chain. So we do have like listed on the New York Stock Exchange and other exchanges, listed equities, being able to trade them on chain. That's here. But what we haven't seen yet is like a proper IPO on chain of a traditional company that would have chosen the IPO path, but it's now doing it on chain. Like, we've only seen crypto companies doing, token launches, basically, almost as a means to an end. But we haven't seen yet a traditional company making the decision to be like, hey, okay, we don't want to go the stock exchange path. We don't want to, do traditional private rounds and then, IPO on an exchange. Like, Figma paid, I don't know, probably like $5 million or more, just for bankers to do the IPO. Like, it's fucking expensive to do an IPO. So it would be also more capital efficient to do it on chain. And I think we're right now in this phase where we experiment with our own projects, like, with Metaplex, Genesis, and with Jupiter, LFG or Meteora launch structures that we see, with all the launch pads that are doing meme coins right now. Like, that's all experimentation that's probably needed to build infrastructure and a system that can actually do this at scale for serious businesses.
What's really interesting is that there's a lot, because there are so many bullshit middlemen in the normal stock exchange experience, like stock listing experience. I also think, though, it's somewhat good because it forces the companies to think about things that they otherwise would rather just not think about, right? Like, having to, like, there's a tremendous amount of effort that goes into vetting your company. And if you're going to list your stock onto... Yeah, you have to do a lot of due diligence. And it would be more convenient for people to not dig into my past and to not dig into my CTO's past and to go into the entire work history of like everybody who, like, key leadership in the company, and then having to communicate that to a bunch of whales. But at the end of that process, what ends up happening, if you have competent listing managers, is that you actually end up doing a lot of pitching to whales anyways, right? Which is actually key to the stock performing well. And if you just can launch your equity on chain with a press of a button that quickly without any of the due diligence, what you create is just like a lower bar, a lower standard. And you're not doing all the things that might be necessary for... I'm just saying that friction actually might end up working in a lot of teams' favors. And it would actually be good for a lot of teams to have this kind of like standardized listing product. I mean, if they're serious about it, right? Like, if it's a serious token and not just a meme coin, it actually makes a lot of sense to have this friction, because it means that you do a lot of the due diligence that you need in order for your listing to be a success. But that's just
I guess that's why I think the future is more going to look like what Metaplex is doing with Genesis than what Bonk is doing with Bonk Fun when it comes to these listings, because with Metaplex there is DD, there's like a limited set of projects that are allowed to launch. There's like direct contact with the team that launched. It's not permissionless, basically. That's what I'm saying. I don't think I don't think Figma should launch permissionlessly on chain. I think it's a different asset to that. Like, the things that launch permissionlessly are lower market cap, get in the creator space, attention economy, memes, all that kind of shit. That's cool in that corner. But when it comes to these like multi-billion-dollar companies going public, it would be good to have a bit of better structure.
But what's interesting is I wonder whether or not companies like Metaplex are really the right players to do it. I think from a technological standpoint, nobody denies that Metaplex can handle it, right? Like, it makes sense. But the middlemen that we want to see as investors is like a Goldman Sachs, right? And the reason why so that's why strategically it makes more sense to have Messari or even like Blockworks. I know Blockworks is more news and research, and Messari is like much more hardcore research. But still, those are companies that I actually might look to as a consumer and say like, I give a fuck about what Messari thinks. I give a fuck about what Blockworks thinks, or even Solana Floor, right? I mean, there's a sliding scale of news versus like research and like how much I would judge either. But my point is, like, these are organizations where like I would look to them for signal. It's like, you guys kind of make it your business to research things and to look into protocols deeply. And so like, you tell me, like, is this like a good listing or not? Whereas like Metaplex, I think of them more as a technology provider. And so like, I do agree with humans need proxies for trust. Like, you can't completely get rid of the proxy for trust element because I don't have time, you don't have time, investors don't have time. Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So like you do need some proxies of trust. It's just like at what level are you going to say like Goldman Sachs has taken it too far, right? Like they control the entire fucking process from start to finish to and it's like, and quite frankly, you don't have very many choices at the top, right? Like if you're a top firm like Figma, like how many different bankers can you really work with to list your stock? It's like probably like 3. And like you do it their way or you don't do it. That's just kind of like you're kind of fucked. So it's all very interesting to see where this is going to go. When do you think we're going to stocks on chain or like a representation of stocks on chain are already live? When do you think we're going to see our first like legit equity on chain play?
Maybe 2026. I don't think it's far. I don't think it's far in the future, but it will take a little bit more time. We need the industry to mature overall, which is happening. Project Crypto by the US, it's bringing a lot of more clarity to this. What Project Crypto, by the way, when it comes to these things, does as well is it makes it like so far, especially if you're US based, but basically for everyone. So far, you had to gray zone a lot of things in crypto as a company. There's a way to launch a token. There's a way to do buybacks. So you revenue share basically. There's ways to do it, but you always had to hide it to an extent or find different wording for things to kind of fuck around. But what you did at the end of the day is you launch an asset. That asset represents the value of your company, and then you try to share value back to that asset. Now with Project Crypto, they're saying that's fine. Like it's fine. It's okay for tokens to have value. It's okay for Hyperliquid to buy their own token with revenues, because that's the way they want to, incentivize holders to hold that asset.
Yeah.
This clarity is what we need as a baseline as well to make things like this more feasible, I think. Because if you're Figma and you have an on-chain asset, you need fucking clarity, like what you can do with it and how it's been handled and so on. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, that's all the news that we have out of Soul Brothers this week. This even is a slight iteration of previous formats. Let us know if you guys like this too. We're putting the interviews straight into the podcast, and it is a bit of a longer podcast now. It's like an hour and a half. I wonder when Fig airdrop. Not quite so sure.
Yeah.
Good morning, Soul Bros. Hi, Ginsu. Good to see you.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining in this week, guys. How'd you like this week's this week's podcast, Simon?
Yeah, it was fun. Definitely lots of stuff to cover. Lots of exciting things, and I think we can. One thing we wanted to do as well, maybe next time we can start doing this is the trading corner, where we actually not only look at charts but also trade live, just for the sake of fun. Like we can have like a $50 investment every single week that we are risking, and we're just throwing it on Jupiter Perps in a direction that we feel like is right currently. And then at the end of the podcast, we're resolving the trade just for fun. Like we keep it running. And there's a new feature. Let's see if Jupiter is going to do that as well. But another friendly company on Solana who's doing perps, they implemented a feature called Degen mode, where you can go up to 500x on your perp trades. It's ridiculous.
Sure, why not?
Degen mode. Yeah. Tight liquidation levels, tight as fuck, but for things like this, actually fun, because
sure, why not?
You can make or lose a lot of money with $50. I mean, no, you can make a lot of money, but not lose a lot of money. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You can lose 50, but you can make 500. If you do it 10 times, you lost 500. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We're gonna play around a little bit more and look at the structure for the pod in a way to improve on it. We're always happy to take feedback in as well. But as always, we are on YouTube at Soul Brothers Pod. We are on podcast apps like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, where you can also tune into the episodes if you prefer to listen to the audio instead of looking on our beautiful faces. Or you can also just check out Twitter at Soul Brothers Pod, because that's where we usually post some shit talk in between the lines and some short form content as well. So we'll see you again next week in another live stream Monday as per usual. And until then, we wish you a very successful and happy week. See you then, chat.
When Soul Brothers Casino betting live? Lol.
Let's go. Same shit, bro. It's the same. It's basically like leverage trading 100x. It's the same fucking shit. You're betting on whatever.
Yeah.
So.
All right. See y'all later. Take it easy.
Okay. Ending the
Adios.
stream. See you guys. Bye.